Greetings, gentlemen. I want to speak to you directly about a problem that you may have been enduring in silence for far too long. What if I told you that the key to reclaiming that strength, that firm and energetic erection you thought you'd lost forever, lies right in the palm of your own hand? That's right. A simple technique that takes just 30 seconds a day. By gently pressing a special point in the palm of your hand, you can send a signal to awaken and reactivate the flow of vitality where it's needed most, awakening the sensitivity that's fallen asleep and, most importantly, reclaiming that confidence that's faded over the years. It works no matter if you're 60, 70, or even over 80. This isn't a miracle. It's forgotten science about the human body. With over 25 years as a specialist in men's health, I've sat in this very room, listening to thousands of stories. I've heard the quiet confessions you wouldn't dare tell anyone, not even your partner. I perfectly understand the frustration, the silence, and the pain of feeling like your body no longer responds to you. And I'm here today to state something with total clarity. You don't have to resign yourself to this. You're not alone. If what I've just shared resonates with something you're feeling, let me know by writing the number 1 in the comments below. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly where that point is, how to activate it for maximum effectiveness, and why such a small gesture can create such a big change for your health, and your spirit too. Our time together starts right now. Thank you to everyone who wrote a 1 in the comments. It shows me I'm not speaking into the void. I'm connecting with real men seeking a real solution. And the first step to finding that solution is understanding the problem deeply, beyond the obvious. Many men believe this loss of potency strikes overnight, like a switch suddenly flipping off. But the truth is, it's a slow, almost invisible process that settles in over the years. Think of the arteries and blood vessels in your body as the highways of a great city. An erection used to arrive effortlessly because the fuel reached its destination instantly. But after 50, those highways start to change. Stress, diet, lack of movement, and the passage of time create small potholes and blockages. Blood flow becomes slower, weaker. At the same time, the nervous system, like the control tower sending signals, also weakens. Messages of arousal take longer to arrive or get lost along the way. At first, you don't think much of it. Maybe once or twice you don't achieve the firmness of before. You blame it on fatigue or work stress. But then, sometimes turns into frequently. And that's when the problem stops being just physical. It settles into the mind. Doubt begins before every encounter. The fear of failure grows bigger than the desire. You avoid eye contact, pretend to be asleep, invent excuses. And the most painful part is seeing that unasked question in your partner's eyes. You don't desire me anymore. Did I do something wrong? It's not just about sex. When that part of the relationship fades, a part of a man's identity feels like it's fading with it. It's a heavy burden carried in solitude. And in that solitude, in that desperate search for a solution, most men make the same mistakes. They turn to external solutions that promise quick results but rarely address the root problem. Let's talk plainly about those solutions. The first and most famous are the pills. Those little blue tablets that seem like the magic answer. But what do they really do? They act like a whip, forcing the heart to pump more blood and dilating the vessels by force. They're an emergency fix, a temporary patch, and they come at a cost. Headaches, dizziness, and worst of all, psychological dependence. The man stops trusting his own body and starts relying on a pill to feel like a man. The question before intimacy isn't about desire anymore. It's, did I take the pill? Will it work this time? Then there's the maze of supplements and miracle remedies flooding the internet. Jars with exotic names promising to restore the virility of your 20s. Most contain ingredients of dubious origin and ineffective doses. It's an industry that feeds on men's hope and desperation. You spend money, invest time and hope, and in the end, you're left with the same frustration, maybe with an emptier wallet. The fundamental problem with all these methods is that they seek the solution outside of you. They assume your body is missing something, whether a chemical or an exotic herb. But the truth is much deeper and, at the same time, much more hopeful. The problem isn't a lack of something external, but a blockage of something internal. The energy, the vitality, the power. It's already inside you. It's just trapped, blocked by years of tension and poor circulation. And what if I told you that you don't need to add anything to your body, but simply unlock your own potential? In the next part, we're going to discover the amazing connection between your hands and your vitality. I'll reveal that secret control point that can restart the entire system from the inside out, without pills or unnecessary expenses. I know it might sound too simple, that a point on the hand could influence something as complex as male potency. And I understand your skepticism. In fact, I myself, trained in Western medicine, took years to understand and accept the power of this ancient knowledge. But what I discovered changed the way I treat my patients forever. In traditional Eastern medicine, the body isn't seen as a collection of separate parts, but as an interconnected energy system through a network of channels called meridians. Vital energy, or qi, flows through these meridians to nourish every organ and function of the body. The hands and feet aren't just limbs. They're considered microcosms, miniature maps of the entire organism. They concentrate hundreds of acupressure points that act as switches for that energy network. There's one point in particular, located in the center of the palm, that ancient traditions called the Laogong point, or the Palace of Labor. It's no casual name. Palace refers to a center of power, and labor to the ability to put energy into motion. This point is the gateway to one of the most important meridians related to circulation and heart function, the pericardium meridian. By stimulating it, we're not just pressing skin and muscle. This signal travels from the hand, up the arm, and reaches the center of the chest, directly influencing the circulatory system. It helps calm the mind and regulate blood flow throughout the body. But what's most fascinating is its reflex connection to the pelvic area. Activating the Palace of Labor is like turning on a light on a control panel that, in turn, sends a command to relax and open the blood vessels in the genital area. The tension compressing the arteries is released, allowing blood to flow with the freedom and force needed for a solid erection. It's a silent and powerful dialogue with your own body. Now is the time to leave theory behind and move to practice. I want you to do this with me right now so you can feel for yourselves what I'm talking about. It's very important that you follow my instructions to the letter to locate the exact point. Please, sit comfortably. We'll start with the left hand. Extend your left hand with the palm facing up. Now, gently close your fingers as if holding a small egg in your hand. Don't squeeze, just let them rest. Observe carefully the spot where the tip of your middle finger, the heart finger, touches the palm. That's exactly the Palace of Labor. It's right in the center of the palm. Once you've located it, use the thumb of your right hand. Place it over that point. Before pressing, take a deep breath. Now, apply firm but not painful pressure. You should feel something, maybe a slight discomfort, tension, or a small pulse. That's the sign you've found the right spot. Don't worry if you don't feel much at first. With practice, it will become more sensitive. Keeping that steady pressure, begin massaging the point with small circles in the clockwise direction. Do it slowly, feeling the movement. Close your eyes if it helps you focus. As you do it, imagine you're unlocking a small dam, allowing a river of energy and fresh blood to start flowing. Do this for 30 seconds. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3. Keep breathing deeply and relaxed. 28, 29, 30. Very good. Now, release the pressure gently. What do you feel? Maybe a warmth, A tingling in the hand? Now, let's repeat the same process on the other hand. Extend your right hand with the palm facing up. Gently close your fingers. Use the thumb of your left hand. Apply firm pressure and begin the circular massage for another 30 seconds. Focus on the sensation. Remember, it's not about force. It's about intention and consistency. 30 seconds. That's all it takes. This is the first step in re-educating your body and reminding it how to function optimally. Okay, doctor, I've located the point, done the massage, felt something. But how is it possible that something so simple really works? What's the science behind all this? That's an excellent and absolutely necessary question, because real confidence doesn't come from blind faith, but from understanding. And I want you to understand with total clarity what happens inside your body every time you perform this simple 30-second gesture. It's not magic, it's pure physiology. Let me break it down into 3 fundamental scientific pillars. The first pillar is the nervous system's response. Our body is an incredibly sophisticated network of electrical communication. When you press the Laogong point, you're activating a series of nerve receptors in the palm of your hand. These receptors send an electrical signal that travels through the nerves in your arm, reaches the spinal cord, and from there, directly to the brain. It's like dialing a direct line to your command center. The brain, upon receiving this specific signal, triggers a reflex response. Nitric oxide is the main player responsible for relaxing the walls of blood vessels. When the vessels relax, they widen, allowing a torrent of oxygen-rich blood to flood the corpora cavernosa of the penis. This is literally the biological mechanism that creates an erection. So, with each massage, you're retraining this neural pathway, reminding your body how to execute this response efficiently. The second pillar, and in our modern world perhaps the most powerful of all, is stress reduction. We live under constant pressure. Work, finances, family worries. This pressure activates what we call the sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight mode. Cortisol is poison for erectile function. It constricts blood vessels, lowers testosterone levels, and puts the body in a state of alert that's completely opposite to the relaxation needed for intimacy. Now, massaging the Laogong point has a direct calming effect on the nervous system. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. It's like flipping a switch that tells your body, everything's fine, you can relax. Cortisol levels drop, heart rate slows, and muscle tension, especially in the pelvic area, begins to release. Many men don't realize that their problem isn't a lack of desire, but an excess of chronic tension blocking their body's natural response. And the third scientific pillar is improving circulation on a global level. As I mentioned earlier, this point is a gateway to the pericardium meridian, which in modern medicine correlates with the heart's protective function and the circulatory system. By stimulating it regularly, you're not just sending a localized signal. You're contributing to the overall health of your cardiovascular system. You're helping improve blood vessel elasticity and promoting healthier flow throughout the body. Better overall circulation means that when the moment of arousal arrives, your heart and arteries are in better shape to pump the necessary blood quickly and effectively. It's not an isolated solution. It's comprehensive support for the machinery that makes male vitality possible. So, as you can see, there's nothing mystical about this. It's a smart combination of neuroreflexology, hormonal regulation, and cardiovascular support. Every time you give yourself that minute to massage your hands, you're sending 3 powerful messages to your body. Open the channels, relax the tension, and improve the flow. And when your body receives these messages day after day, it starts to respond. The scientific theory is fascinating, but nothing is more eloquent than real-life results. And in the next part, I want to share some of the most inspiring stories of men like you who went from skepticism to transformation. Facts give confidence, but human stories give hope. Over the years, I've had the privilege of witnessing transformations that go far beyond what any clinical study could measure. Men who came to my office with downcast eyes, feeling that a vital part of them had gone extinct, and who, little by little, with this simple daily ritual, reclaimed it. I want to share two of those stories with you, changing their names to protect their privacy, but keeping the essence of their journeys. When I met him, he was a man who'd achieved everything in his professional life, but felt deeply frustrated in his intimate one. He confessed almost in a whisper that he hadn't had a morning erection in over 3 years. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like my body has given up. I've tried everything, but nothing works anymore." He was skeptical, as is natural, but he was desperate enough to try something different. I taught him the Laogong point massage technique and asked him to commit to doing it twice a day, morning and night, for a month. 3 weeks later, I received an email from him. The subject line simply said, "Thank you." In the message, he told me that the first week he didn't notice much, just a bit more warmth in his hands, but he persevered. In the second week, he started sleeping better and feeling more energetic during the day. And then, one morning in the third week, it happened. He woke up with that firmness he hadn't felt in years. He wrote that he lay still in bed, almost afraid to move, with a mix of surprise and immense joy. It wasn't just about the erection itself, but what it represented, proof that his body hadn't given up, that there was still vitality inside him waiting to be awakened. He told me that day, for the first time in a long time, he looked his wife in the eyes during breakfast with renewed confidence. The second story is Miguel's, a 55-year-old businessman. His problem wasn't so much age, but crushing stress. He lived glued to his phone with constant meetings and pressure that tensed his shoulder muscles. And, without him knowing, his pelvic floor too. His libido had vanished, and when he tried to be intimate, his mind was anywhere but in the present moment. For Miguel, the hand massage became an anchor. I recommended he do it right before bed. Those 60 seconds became his sacred moment of disconnection, a signal for his mind and body to downshift. He told me that at first it was hard to concentrate, but little by little he felt the tension dissipate. After a couple of weeks, not only did he notice stronger nocturnal erections, but his response during intimacy was completely different. He was more present, more relaxed. "Doctor," he said on a call, "it's incredible. Before, I tried to force my body to respond. Now, I just relax, and it responds on its own. It's changed how I relate to my partner and to myself." These aren't miracle stories. They're stories of consistency. They're the result of men who decided to take a small, active role in their own health. What Carlos and Miguel discovered is that this simple act not only improves physical function, but restores something much deeper: the connection to your own body and confidence in its inherent power. And that confidence is the most potent aphrodisiac that exists. Now that you know this is possible, the key question is, how do you make it a natural part of your daily life without it feeling like an obligation? The stories of Carlos and Miguel teach us a fundamental lesson. Results don't come by chance, but through creating a habit. The biggest challenge isn't learning the technique, it's maintaining it. That's why, in this part, I want to give you the practical keys not just to start, but to continue and amplify the effects of this massage. Think of it as instructions for caring for a plant. Watering it once isn't enough. You need to know when, how, and with what to nourish it so it blooms. Although any moment is better than none, over the years I've observed two particularly powerful windows of opportunity. The first is right upon waking in the morning. At this time, testosterone levels in men are at their highest of the day. By doing the massage in those first minutes, you're working in sync with your body's natural hormonal rhythm. It's like giving a boost to an engine that's already starting up. Many men report feeling more vital throughout the day and noticing a significant improvement in their overall energy. The second window is right before bed at night. As we saw with Miguel's case, this moment is ideal for combating the main enemy of potency, stress. The Laogong massage acts as a transition ritual, a signal to your nervous system that it's time to shift from alert mode to repair mode. It helps calm the mind, release accumulated tension, and can dramatically improve the quality of nocturnal erections, which are essential for erectile tissue health. My recommendation is to experiment. Try 1 week in the morning and another at night, and feel what works best for you and your lifestyle. Now, how can we amplify the massage's effect? A small trick I often recommend is rubbing your palms energetically against each other for about 10 seconds before starting. This generates heat and energy, making the point stimulation much more effective. Additionally, we can incorporate certain oils whose properties enhance the benefits. A wonderful oil for this is ginger oil. A single drop on the thumb pad before massaging creates a pleasant, warming sensation that penetrates deeply, helping to dilate blood vessels. Sandalwood has been revered for centuries in Eastern traditions as a tonic for male reproductive health and has a profoundly relaxing effect on the nervous system. Remember, with essential oils, less is more. 1 drop mixed with a bit of carrier oil like almond or coconut is more than enough. Finally, let's talk about frequency and mindset. At first, it's easy to get excited and want to do the massage 5 times a day, hoping for instant results. But the key isn't intensity, it's consistency. The goal is for it to stop feeling like a task and become as automatic as brushing your teeth. Place your oil bottle on the nightstand or by the toothbrush, a visual reminder to integrate the habit. Don't obsess over day-to-day results. Trust the process. You're planting a seed. Wait for it. You'll see the first sprout. And once this habit is firmly established, the final step is understanding the big picture. Why this daily minute is one of the best investments you can make in your long-term quality of life. We've reached a crucial point in our journey together. You now know the problem, understand the solution, know exactly how to apply it and why it works. But the biggest challenge with any health practice isn't knowledge, it's the decision. I've seen many men get excited about this technique. Try it for a few days, feel a small improvement, and then gradually let obligations and daily routine bury it in oblivion. The truth is, this technique doesn't work as a quick fix, but as a preventive maintenance ritual, as natural as sharpening a knife before using it or checking your car's oil. When you find a rhythm, it stops feeling like an obligation and transforms into a small gift, an act of respect toward your own body. The ultimate goal is to see this massage not just as a remedy for an existing problem, but as a tool for prevention in the future. Even if you're satisfied with your performance today, incorporating this routine will help preserve your potency, energy, and vitality as you age. It's infinitely easier to maintain health than to try to recover it once it's lost. Every minute you invest today is a deposit in your vitality bank account, ensuring you'll have plenty in reserve for the years ahead. I want you to visualize 2 paths ahead of you. The first is the path of passivity, the one most take, accepting decline as an inevitable consequence of age, relying on mediocre external solutions, and watching year after year as confidence and intimate connection slowly fade. It's a path of quiet resignation. But there's a second path, the path of conscious action. It's the path of those who understand that the human body is incredibly resilient, and that, with the right stimulus, it can repair and strengthen itself at any age. It's the path of dedicating just 60 seconds a day, not out of obligation, but as a declaration of intent. A declaration that says, I'm in charge of my health. I choose to stay strong, vital, and connected. When you commit to this habit, you're not just investing in your erectile function, You're investing in the quality of your sleep, your mental clarity, your heart health, and the peace in your relationship. You're reclaiming control. And that sense of control, of being the captain of your own ship, is one of the most powerful and masculine feelings that exists. So the question I leave you with isn't whether this technique works, because we've seen that it does. The question is, which path will you choose? Will you let this knowledge stay just an interesting idea, or will you turn it into the cornerstone of a new chapter in your life, a chapter of renewed vitality? The decision, as always, is yours. But let me share one last reflection to help you make it. At the end of the day, it all boils down to a simple choice, one made not with the mind, but with the heart. I often think of a patient, a man nearly 80 named Roberto. He came to my office resigned, convinced that intimacy was just a distant memory, a door age had closed forever. His wife accompanied him, and in her eyes was not just love, but deep sadness for the distance that had grown between them. He adopted the technique with the patience and discipline of his generation, without questioning it. A month later, they returned to my office, but this time, something was different. They sat closer, and there was a distinct light in his eyes. Roberto took my hand, something he'd never done, and, with teary eyes, said a phrase I'll never forget. "Doctor, thanks to that daily minute, I haven't just recovered a function of my body. I've recovered conversations with my wife. We've started laughing together again, hugging without reason. I feel like I've become myself again." That's the true promise of all this. It's not just about firmer erections. It's about a fuller life, lived with joy, confidence, and that human closeness that's ultimately what matters most. It's about feeling complete again. Now the choice is in front of you. You can close this video and keep relying on quick fixes, waiting for results that never fully arrive, and watch your vitality slip away little by little. Or you can make the decision here and now to dedicate just 1 minute a day to nourishing your body, improving your circulation, reclaiming your confidence, and reconnecting with your masculine essence. The investment is minimal, just a bit of time and consistency, but the reward can be extraordinary. And if you've made it this far in the video with me, I know you're taking that decision seriously. We've understood why potency declines with age. We've discovered the hidden power in the palm of your hand. We've learned the proper way to stimulate it and the science that backs it. We've heard transformation stories and designed a plan to make it a daily habit. What I want you to remember from all this is simple. You're not helpless. Your body has an amazing capacity for recovery, not just function, but dignity, intimacy, and confidence. I've seen it transform the lives of countless men, and I know it can transform yours too. The choice and the power to change everything is literally in your hands. If this message has resonated with you and you're ready to start this journey, I ask one last gesture. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more health tips tailored for you, and write the word "committed" in the comments. Let that word be your personal contract, your first step on this new path. I'm Dr. Camilla Sierra. It's been a true honor to share this time with you. Take good care of yourselves.